Oh, hiya. How's it going? A quick wee podcast because there's so much going on in the world right now with San Diego Comic Convention and all the reveals and not just Transformers, but lots of stuff designed to rip the very coins from my piggy's bank. But before we get into all that, like what we just had a fantastic episode, didn't we? We just had Dan Larson from Secret Galaxy on. Weren't they a good sport? Wasn't that a good episode? Just dead nice, quick, articulate. That's what we want. Forget everyone we had on before. Like that they didn't know any better. Dan Larson, a very much a student of the game when it comes to the YouTube side of things. And next up, we just recorded an interview with Nick from Toy Fu, how they got their start in doing this, why they do it, all that stuff. Get a bit personal. I didn't get his PIN number off him right enough. I wanted to. Big things happening. It was my birthday yesterday. Yeah. 42 years old. How did they allow someone to get this old? It's stupid, actually, is what it is. Borderline irresponsible. Still, I had a nice day. My wife got me some nice gifts. Got Legacy Blitzwing amongst them. We fired up the pizza oven. I filled myself to capacity on pizza, on Piz. Had a nice time on our usual Saturday night call with the TMUK folks. And yeah, it's probably about as exciting as it gets when you're 42, but I'm actually fine with that. I got Talisman, the 5th edition from Avalon Hill, like Hasbro's board game offshoot, and I'm very much looking forward to our first game of Talisman. We've played Talisman, the Magical Quest game, for probably about 20 years, and this is the new 5th edition, so I'm looking forward to playing that with our long-suffering group, because it's an absolute slog playing Talisman. But hopefully this new edition helps new rules to make things a bit faster. I'm worried that the new rules they're trying to make the game a little bit quicker and easier, because it is quite punishing at times, and I think we're going to rebel against that. I think we like the misery, as Mrs. Doyle would say. So all the reveals over the last couple of days, it's been a bit overwhelming in places, isn't it? Everything just blasting at you, looking incredible. I'm glad I've calmed down a little bit on the old, I must get everything for the YouTube channel, because, fuck the YouTube channel, you know what I mean? But luckily for me, there wasn't really a ton that I immediately felt like there was a desperate need to get. A lot of the recent reveals left me a little bit cold. That Studio Series movie Prime, that would have been a must-have if Missing Link hadn't just come out, if I hadn't picked up the incredible YOLO Park Prime model kit. I'm a wee bit primed out. I didn't think I would ever get to this stage, but yeah. The only other thing that really spoke to me was the G.I. Joe collaboration for this year with the Triple T Cup. You get Sergeant Slaughter and Leatherneck, and that's a cool toy. I'll probably get it. Although I think they've all, without fail, eaten shit at retail, haven't they? Like, severely reduced down the line. So probably, they're probably now at prices they should have been at the first place, but that's very negative, isn't it? Okay, right, let's cheer up a little bit. They're doing a Dino Force combiner. When I first heard this, when I first heard they were doing a Dino Force combiner, before I saw it, at least, I was very, very excited. I was stamping my feet and clapping my hands. I've got this big metal spike out in the back garden. I slammed my temple down on it, impaling my whole head. That's how excited I was. But then I just saw it was recolors of those core class Dinobots, and look, if you like those toys, great. But it's hard to get excited about them. For me, like Dino King back in the day never got a fair shake because they were one of the tiny combiners, and I wish they'd now had the chance to be given their due. Like fuck it, like evil Dinobots. All right, that's all you need. Like, what more of a pitch do you need? Or let's introduce evil Dinobots to the mainstream, to Western audiences. How's that not going to sell? But no, they made them these, frankly, shite-looking toys. But I think it's a license to print money, But you'll still buy it, won't you? I mean, I might still buy it. There's something wrong with this world we live in. But, one more. I guess I can afford myself one more moan about Transformers. Like, I get there's always going to be crossover stuff, especially nowadays. And, there's going to be crossover between fandoms of things like Knight Rider and Transformers, but that collaboration made me feel every single one of the 40 years Transformers has been going. Like, I don't have a problem with it. I don't think it looks particularly great, but, we got a collaboration for fucking Stranger Things. We don't have the high ground here, but yeah, I guess, like Fievel says, there's someone out there for everyone. did you see that Super 7 Vinyl Dungeons and Dragons Tiamat? I don't think there's much more that connects directly to my central nervous system than that toy, which to be fair is like $300, but it's so huge and it's so beautiful, and Super 7 get a bad rap because their stuff takes forever to come out and is expensive and sometimes bad, but some of their stuff is great, and I truly think I will try and save up and do my best to pick this up, maybe. Masters of the Universe had a good showing. It showed off that big snake castle lair, which is way too big and I definitely won't be able to put anywhere. It doesn't mean I don't want it though. I mean, you daft, of course I want it. But yeah, I think I was watching one of those like Pixel Dan videos, mostly on mute, because, they're better that way. But there was a point where the Mattel, choking on even the saying Mattel, but there was a point where the Mattel dude was saying they're committed to completing the full line of the original He-Man toys in Origins, which is their current line, all the characters from the original line, but they'll probably be moving to the website, and that's the only model you're going to have for ordering, and that just absolutely fucking stinks. Like, sometimes I like to think as we get older, as these people who grew up loving these franchises like we did move into senior positions in these companies, able to make decisions, that they'll make those decisions with their fellow fans in mind, but I think ultimately that's insanely naive. And really all it does is give them insight to try and get as much money from you as possible. And it's a business, I get that. But geez, like when Origins came out, Grayskull was like 80 quid. Toys were around £10 each. Great. The world's changed, that's fine. But give me them all. I bought so many of them. But then it became special editions, store exclusives from stores that just don't exist in my continent. And now we've got exclusives on the website. They charge the price of the toy again for postage. They've just ruined it. They just ruined it once again. And I know it's the oldest trick in the book. They hook you in early, then they jack up the price at the end, so you have to complete your collection piecemeal at great expense. But it just absolutely sucks, and I hate it. And it actively ruins the joy of the thing. It puts me right off, like it happened to those G.I. Joe, whatever they're called, the current line, like the 6-inch line that they're putting out. I liked those toys, but they made them impossible to get, and impossible to get cheap. And if they kept them available and they kept them cheap, I'd still be buying them. But no, forget it. This has been a fairly negative podcast, hasn't it? The world's got me teed up like a damned Titleist today. Let's crash out on a high note. Let's look at something I actually like. You know what? NECA are doing a lot of Sesame Street toys, and each one is incredibly adorable. I might be tempted to pick up the lot of their Ultimate line eventually, and that's such a funny phrase to me. Like, I'm going to pick up Ultimate Ernie. Just standing there with his rubber ducky, Ultimate Ernie. Fucking grow up. But yeah, I was really quite smitten with it, and there's nothing really like Sesame Street that transports you just right back to that feeling in your childhood that maybe everything's not a steaming pile of shit, that maybe there is some good in the world, even though this company is, obviously just trying to hawk me some plastic. The idea of having a little Oscar the Grouch, or having the Count, or Big Bird, or, Grover, give me Super Grover, give me Standard Grover, give me the Waiter Grover, give me that little blue guy who constantly eats shit, the little guy with a moustache when Grover's the waiter, give me all that. Give me a playset from that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Give me a playset of that. Just a big ball rolling down a hill. I'll take it. I'll have it. Anything to, give me 5 minutes away from my own head, where I think the world's coming apart at the seams. Sesame Street tends to get me back on an even keel. Which, again, at 42 may sound a bit desperate, but, this is my podcast, and fuck yourself. Anyway, what did you think of all the reveals? Lots of Turtles crud and Thundercats crap, cool Marvel stuff, Godzilla toys. Just let me know what you liked in either the comments on YouTube, or you can join the Patreon if you fancied. You can go to patreon.com/TRDQ, and don't forget to tell us in the pinned post what your favourite toy is, so then I can shout you out in an upcoming video. New videos are going to be coming soon. I think next week is going to be the TF Nation Rush, so I'll look at some of the stuff I'm taking to the show. I think at this point, I know people don't watch those videos largely because they're not, either they're not going to be at TF Nation, so why watch them, or they just don't care about anything other than toys. I get it, but I'm going to do it anyway. And yeah, we're going to look at some incredible customs that are going to be available at the show and only at the show, made by Matt Marshall. We've got an interview from Nick from Toy Fu coming soon for the podcast too. Yeah, good, good. I'm actually really quite happy with the amount of stuff we're putting out. And I think the quality of it's getting better. So yeah, I'm on a high. I'm on a high right now. Let's put it that way. I'm on a high for TRDQ right now. But yeah, we're zeroing in on a sign off. James Marsh suggested we finish with Teletran Done at the end of the show, which I really like because it reminds me of Romeo Dunn from the So Solid crew. So let's try it, okay? Until next time, Teletran Done.